Hello and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering EDH deck tech idea. Today we are taking a look at Ardyn, the Usurper. It is an 8 mana 4/4 and demons you control have Menace, Lifelink and Haste. Already from this static ability it shows that this is a demon tribal deck, and it also has a triggered ability at the beginning of combat, because at that time you exile up to one target creature card from a graveyard. If you exile a card this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 5/5 black demon. This deck is a mono black demon tribal commander deck, and due to the fact that demons are in general really expensive, we need to discount them or either ramp in this deck. For this we play cards like Heartless Summoning, a 2 mana enchantment, and creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, but creatures you control get -1/-1. We are absolutely fine with that, because we don't care if our 8/8 demon is a 7/7, as long as we get him out 2 turns earlier. Due to the fact that we are a mono black deck, we need to ramp in a little bit different way than other decks. So we play Scampering Surveyor, a 4 mana 3/2, and when it enters the battlefield, search a library for basic land card or cave card and put it onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. If this creature dies at some point, we can also simply exile it with Ardyn at some point to get another basic land and a powerful demon. We are in black, so we play Cable Coffers, a land, and you can pay 2 mana and tap it to add 1 black mana for each swamp you control. This land can get out of hand really quickly, and this is one of the reasons why you should always play at least a little bit of land destruction in your decks, for example cards like Demolition Field. We play Urza's Incubator, a 3 mana artifact, and as it enters the battlefield choose a creature type, which will be demons at some point, and creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. We are in black, so we play Cryptghast, a 4 mana 2/2 with Extort, and whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add an additional black mana. One of my favorite mana rocks in monocolored decks is Throne of Eldraine, a 5 mana legendary artifact, and as it enters the battlefield choose a color, which will be black in this deck, and you can tap it to add 4 mana of the chosen color, spend this mana only to cast monocolored spells of that color. Furthermore, it is also a card draw engine, because you can pay 3 mana and tap it to draw 2 cards, but you can only spend mana of the chosen color to activate this ability. Due to the fact that we are a mono black deck and play really expensive creatures, we will spend our early game either with ramping or with keeping the board in check. As you probably know by now from other deck tech videos of mine, as soon as black is included we play a bunch of edict effects, so I don't want to mention all of them in this deck. But just as a reference, we play Mire in Misery, a 2 mana sorcery. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or enchantment. As our creatures are really expensive, we are absolutely fine with wiping the board in the early and mid game, and at some point turn the tide and start committing our powerful and expensive creatures. Probably the best board wipe in this deck is Kindred Dominance, a 7 mana sorcery. Choose a creature type. Destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. In the early game we wanna play Mutilate, a 4 mana sorcery. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn for each swamp you control. We continue with my favorite board wipe, Blood on the Snow, a 6 mana snow sorcery, and you choose one. Either destroy all creatures or all planeswalkers, and then you return a creature or planeswalker card with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of snow mana spent to cast this spell. Let's keep it cold. We play Dead of Winter, a 3 mana sorcery. All non-snow creatures get -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of snow permanents you control. We play Will of the Abzan, a 4 mana sorcery. Choose one. If you control a commander, as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. Either any number of target opponents each sacrifice a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls and lose 3 life, or return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Once we have kept the board in check and accelerated our mana base, we can start committing our demons onto the battlefield. For example, the Great Unclean One, a 5 mana 4/5, and at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses 2 life. Then for each opponent who has less life than you, create a 1/3 black demon creature token named Plague Bearer of Nurgle. As this deck also fills up its graveyard, we play Rakasha Debasa, a 6 mana 6/6, and when it attacks, put target creature card from defending player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. We can also encore this card for 8 mana from our graveyard to create a token copy for each of our opponents that have haste and can attack immediately. We do play Velgavoth, Terror Eater, a 9 mana 9/9 with flying and lifelink. Ward, sacrifice 3 non-land permanents, and if a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Furthermore, during your turn, you may play cards exiled with Velgavoth If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. One of my favorite demons is Villis, Broker of Blood, an 8 mana 8/8 with flying, and for 1 black mana and paying 2 life, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. The activation of this ability will immediately trigger its triggered ability, because whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. As I've said, we want to fill up our graveyard, so we play Doom Whisperer, a 5 mana 6/6 with flying and trample, and you can pay 2 life to surveil 2. An old school win-con in black decks is Lord of the Void, a 7 mana 7/7 with flying, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 7 cards of that player's library, and then put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield under your control. You want to win more? You get it. We play Unholy Annex and the Ritual Chamber, an enchantment room, and on the Unholy Annex side for 3 mana you get a powerful end step trigger, because at the beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, otherwise you lose 2 life. Unlocking the Ritual Chamber for 5 mana gives you a 6/6 black demon creature token with flying. As we can exile creature cards from any graveyard with Ardyn, we also want to fill up our opponent's graveyard, so we play Mind Crank, a 2 mana artifact, and whenever an opponent loses life, that player mills that many cards. This also works in our favor simply because we want to win with combat damage due to our demon army, so we will mill our opponents out. And last but not least, we play Ripples of Undeath, a 2 mana enchantment, and at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, mill 3 cards. Then you may pay 1 mana and 3 life. If you do, put a card from among those cards into your hand. This card provides great card selection and card advantage at the price of 1 mana and 3 life, and definitely feeds our game strategy. Alright guys, these were a few cards that I would play in Ardyn, the Usurper. Let me know which cards you would add to the deck, which legendary creature I shall feature next. Make sure to check out my full deck list in the notes below, and then I would say see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.